Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, sir?
You didn't miss boring baseball last night? Because I did.
No, I did not.
Come on.
I tell you why. Because I knew it wasn't happening. See, if I had gotten home expecting there to be a game, if we had a normal job and you worked till 3, 4, 5 o'clock, summer months, right? And you're like, all right, get home, kiss the wife, see the kids, pop a cold one, and get ready for Yankees Red Sox. And then you find out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, even though
I knew from 4 o'clock yesterday.
No, I know we knew for hours, but
I had some chicken scarpariello, nice sausage on the side.
What does that have
peppers.
Okay, so you ate. That's great. What does that have to do with watching baseball? We haven't had a real baseball game since Sunday. And obviously that left a very bad taste in the mouths of Yankee fans and Met fans. And I got to tell you, I miss it. And I just saw the forecast in Pittsburgh. It's supposed to rain.
Oh.
What the hell is going on?
Oh.
Yeah,
Are you
right.
upset the Mets might not play today?
Yes, I am, Craig.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't think America's all that upset about it.
America?
I don't think America's upset.
Well, I think Met fans and maybe some Pirate fans would be. And Yankee fans want to see their team play tonight, even though they'll be without key players.
I've come up to this conclusion, not based on any fact or tangible evidence.
Why would you start basing things on facts now?
Yeah, well, because it got boring always being right. So now I just decided to come up with opinions that are not based in fact, just my own gut.
So what's this new opinion you've put together?
I think America and baseball is at a crossroads.
Even though TV ratings are up?
Up from last year, it's like when the NBA comes out and announces the NBA Finals ratings are up 40%
but I think
from
they're
last year.
Also up from 2019.
They're not. They're down 36%.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, I'm not talking about the NBA. I'm talking about baseball.
Oh, I was talking about baseball.
You know, basketball is
down significantly.
I'm not talking about basketball. As far as I'm concerned, the basketball season ended a month ago when Kevin Durant's foot was on the line. Okay?
Well,
and Joe Harris can't make an open shot, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
I think we're at a crossroads.
Baseball's doing all right. Despite all of us talking about our issues with the game, baseball's in a good place.
Like, here's what I hear from most people when baseball comes up. The first thing typically, other than the great Shohei Ohtani, of course, and even he became controversial because of some dimwit on TV, is negative. It's the first thing you included. When you talk to people these days,
How am I negative about baseball?
It's about what the commissioners messed up, what the owners have messed up, what the players have messed up, what I don't like, this, that. You're a bunch of whining biatches.
Craig, I'm going to prove you wrong very quickly.
Yeah.
Would you agree football is America's sport?
I believe it has
number one.
overtaken baseball, yes.
I completely agree.
All right.
On most Mondays, after a wonderful weekend of football, the number one thing Americans do is what? And if you don't know the answer, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you what, the majority of Americans, they try to figure out who they're going to try to get their money back on for Monday Night Football.
Well, that's a fair point.
Yes.
Touché, sir.
Yeah.
It's usually complaining about bad officiating. I can't believe the flags that were thrown. I can't believe that call because most people, and I'm a part of it and you're a part of it too, we like to complain. But at the end of the day, people love football. Baseball is not football, but despite baseball's issues and despite the things I may complain about, you may complain about, C-Mac may complain about it, people are still watching baseball. It's not a dying sport the way it's described in some quarters.
I don't know.
And if you don't believe me, just look at the facts.
You know what I find?
People are watching it.
I never see a happy baseball fan. Kids aside. Kids, of course, love it because that's kids.
I'm a happy baseball
fan. You're not.
Yes, I am.
You're a miserable human being.
How am I miserable?
Not in life.
Thank you.
As a sports fan.
Well, because of my
miserable.
teams? Because of my teams?
7-inning doubleheader complaints. Right?
Yeah, but we do it because
uniform
we love.
Complaints. Guys being pulled out too early. Complaints.
Yes.
You're a complainer.
Well, we love something so much, we complain about it not being a perfect way.
Because
that doesn't mean
why.
we don't love the game.
You're in love with an idea.
The idea of baseball.
You're in love with it.
Yeah.
You're in love with a conceptual idea it's really a romantic idea.
Sure.
About what baseball is.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yes, but I guess no one's fault.
Right.
It no longer exists.
I agree, but there were certain moments like Saturday night in Houston, even though I'm a Met fan, where that moment popped out. where Garrett Cole in a 1-0 game says, I'm finishing this game.
I thought Sunday was more memorable, to be honest.
Well, that's a different story. But the things I romanticize, I'll get to that in a second. The things I romanticize, I saw, and you see pop up every once in a while. And that's the beauty of baseball. As far as Sunday, was that more memorable?
Of course it was.
In a lot of ways,
Shirts
it was more
being
memorable.
ripped off, a little dwarf out there, hitting another home run to beat the Yankees, a walk-off, all that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, here's the update for those of you that do care. And I know many of you are deciding, well, what do I do tonight? Do I watch Mets-Pirates if they play? Do I go to the Yankees-Red Sox games? Or do I stay home and watch Space Jam with the kids? I know that's a big decision that's happening right now all over the tri-state area. It looks like they're going to play baseball tonight. And here's why. The rule, apparently, is that it's a 10-day, it's not a suspension.
Isolation. You have to isolate for 10 days because you tested positive for COVID.
Unless it's a false positive, you're out for 10 days.
Jonathan Loizaga is still in Houston because he tested positive for COVID in Houston.
All right, so here's the deal. If you're out for 10 days from the day you test positive, then there's no difference between today and tomorrow, which is why you can't bend over backwards to give the Yankees or any other team a chance to get healthy. You're not going to wait 10 days for you to get your players back. So there will be a game tonight. There'll
be a game tonight if there are no more positive tests, period. That's what it comes down to. And this was never, ever, no matter what you thought or what your opinion is, which I respectfully disagree with. See, I'm respectful. They were never going to wait out of fairness. They were going to wait out of safety. And as long as they declare today, and so far there have been no new positives, there are no new positives from the Yankees, there are no positives from the Red Sox, then of course they're going to play tonight.
Yeah, they're
playing. And they'll make up the games whenever they announce it. I would assume it's not this weekend because that would be in the power of the New York Yankees to say, wait a second, why would we make up a game when we're going to be short our everyday right fielder, short our everyday third baseman, and short a catcher who is the personal catcher for our best pitcher? But if there are no more positives, and as of now there haven't been, the Yankees are going to play baseball tonight, and they're going to play some of their biggest games of the year, and they're going to do it shorthanded in a big way.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe this in a weird way helps the Yankees out.
How is that?
I don't know. Like sometimes if you give a guy a shot, we've all heard the stories about like the short-term phenom, the guy that gets a crack and goes on like a 5-game run, a 10-game run.
Of course.
But over the course of 100 games, that guy wouldn't put up those numbers.
Right.
So maybe you catch lightning in a bottle. I don't know.
Here's the issue with that. The New York Yankees specifically lost guys who have not been the problem this season. Like if I said to you, go through the Yankee position players and tell me the guys who have done their job the best.
Well, Aaron Judge is one of them.
Gio Urshela is up there too.
Yeah.
So you're trying to not only replace key Yankees, but key Yankees that have been really good for this team.
Yeah.
And so this is not going to be easy. Let's call it like it is.
It puts more pressure on LeMahieu now to be the guy that you signed for $90 million. Stanton and now going one of those like 10-day runs like he did earlier this year.
Yep.
There's legitimate pressure.
Well, there's one other thing.
I always say, pressure's a privilege, Evan.
Is that something you say?
Yes.
Okay.
I always say pressure is a privilege. It's my saying. It's going to be on my tombstone.
Really?
Yes, because I'm being buried right next to Boomer.
So who's got the most pressure in their privilege?
Sorry?
Who's got the most privilege in their pressure?
No, I don't think it's that.
Who's got the most pressure with their privilege?
The most pressure right now, is going to be on Stanton and LeMahieu.
Well,
those are the two guys.
There is something you're leaving out that I find fascinating. I find this fascinating. Garrett Cole doesn't have his security blanket anymore.
That's right. That's right. He's got to throw the ball unless they bring up a minor league catcher, and he now catches for Garrett Cole because he hates Gary Sanchez.
Can you imagine if that's what ends up happening?
It might.
But think about that. Garrett Cole, who's coming off a pinnacle Yankee moment for him.
Yes.
A great moment for him. Garrett Cole is no longer with his... What'd you call your blanket as a child? Did you have a name for it?
I wasn't allowed to have one. I slept without a blanket.
You never had a blanket?
And I never had a blankie or a blanket or a go-to thing. No, my parents deprived me of that.
Wow.
They believed in tough love from the womb.
This explains a lot.
Yes, they also told me I was adopted from Vietnam. So I had a different childhood than most people.
Very different.
Yes, I'm not saying it was bad. It's all I knew. but I did have a very different childhood than most people.
So you wouldn't understand the situation that Garrett Cole is in.
No, I have no understanding of what love is. That's correct.
No.
Love is a foreign feeling to me, Evan, based on my upbringing. That is correct. Yes, you saying?
So you have no idea what Garrett Cole is going through
Sense
right now.
of security
A
with the
sense
family?
of-
No, I have no idea what security is like.
His security and his blanket that he likes to cuddle with has now been taken away from
Evan,
him.
allow me to tell you
What
a story.
happens?
My family used to go out for Chinese food on Sundays. It was like a Jewish thing to do in Westchester County, right? And my dad decided, because no one else was allowed to order dinner, my dad ordered for everybody. We had one of those families, right, where you know he was the king of the castle, not just the way it went. So he decided one day at a Chinese restaurant, actually in Larchmont, New York.
What a vivid memory you have of this.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. He decided that that was the day that his son, me, was going to try shrimp for the first time. I didn't like shrimp. I don't like shrimp. I had no interest in eating shrimp. When I was 7 years old and I went to a Chinese restaurant, I got ribs, spare ribs, and an egg roll. And I was a happy kid. And that's all I ever ate at Chinese restaurants, okay? So he decides my son is going to eat a shrimp, whether he likes it or not. Okay, I'm your Huckleberry.
Did you like it?
So the shrimp is forced into my mouth.
What do you mean forced into your mouth? Did he
Put the shrimp in your mouth.
Did he shove the fork in your mouth?
The shrimp was forced into my mouth.
Wow.
And I threw the shrimp back up onto the table, hoping he might live.
Hoping who may live the shrimp?
The shrimp. It was like a Free Willy moment in 1978
Free
in
Willy
Larchmont,
moment.
New York, part of Westchester County.
Yes, I've heard of it.
So I threw the shrimp back up. Now, what do you think the reaction was to me throwing the shrimp up?
Give him more shrimp.
Oh, no, Evan.
No.
I was escorted out of the restaurant, and I was put into the Chevy Caprice station wagon with the fake wood paneling on the sides. The doors were then locked, and I was left there while the rest of the family finished their dinner. Oh, there's more.
I shouldn't be laughing. I apologize.
On the way home,
Yes.
about a mile, give or take, from my house, the car stopped. Get out. Why am I getting out? You're walking home. Because I threw up the shrimp that I didn't want to eat.
Wow.
So when your family makes a different meal for you and a different meal for Jet and a different meal for Spence,
Right.
and if you have other kids, different meals for them, remember how it used to be. So when you ask me if I can appreciate your love of something,
Right.
the answer is no.
Okay.
Okay? And to this day, I don't like shrimp.
And all this was about the fact that Garrett Cole doesn't have a security blanket anymore.
Garrett Cole's got a security blanket. I walked home a mile because I was force-fed a piece of shrimp that I didn't want to eat.
This is why you'd be such a great manager for the Yankees, because this is how you'd explain to Garrett Cole
That's right.
that Gary Sanchez is catching you tonight.
Which is why, as you know, one of the themes of this show is I don't like the coddling of athletes.
Right.
Because I wasn't coddled.
Right.
I don't know what coddling is like.
Right.
It's a foreign substance to me. So when I hear Garrett Cole has to only throw the ball to Higgy, and now he can't,
He's got no choice.
I'm not going to be surprised if Garrett Cole goes on the 10-day IL.
Oh, stop it. Stop.
And the excuse will be 129 pitches. It'll be retroactive to then, so he's only going to miss a start or two, but he'll come back to pitch as soon as his security blanket is ready. It's why I've got no patience for it. I've got no time for it, because when I was 7, and I didn't want that piece of shrimp. That piece of shrimp was forced into my mouth.
Follow-up question most people have.
Yes.
Have you had shrimp since?
I have.
Do you now like it?
No.
Really? That scarred you for life?
No.
That experience at that restaurant of
Yeah,
that shrimp
no.
being shoved down your throat
Well,
has ruined everything?
I remembered it, and it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I suppose the answer is yes. I think shrimp and lobster are the two most overrated foods
so
in
wrong.
America.
I totally disagree.
They
I
have
love
no
shrimp and lobster.
intrinsic flavor. So if you gave me a bowl and put garlic, butter, and olive oil in it and whipped it up. Oh, the shrimp is so tasty. No, the garlic, butter, and olive oil is tasty. The shrimp's got no flavor.
Is this why you seemed offended when I told you that for my birthday, my father-in-law made my favorite meal, which happened to be shrimp quesadillas?
Yeah.
Because the look in your eye, you were so mad when I said that.
Because the shrimp got no flavor.
It does have flavor.
No, you like the adobo seasoning your father-in-law puts on it, as do I. Or a little sazon. I love it. But I don't like the shrimp. So all you bougie bastards out there.
We're not bougie
with your
shrimp.
3-pound lobsters and your 52-count shrimps, whatever the hell it is. You're a bunch of idiots.
Oh, thanks.
You got sold a bill of goods. Yes, lobster. Lobster. Ugh.
It tastes great.
No, it doesn't.
And it does have a taste.
Yeah, dip it in butter. It tastes good.
Just because you dip it in something doesn't mean it doesn't have a taste.
By the way,
it just adds to the ambiance and the flavor of it.
Dip
That's
my
all.
phone in butter. It tastes good. It tastes good. That's all. So anyway, we'll get into all the baseball with you anyhow. Yanks look like they're going to play. Mets rain, notwithstanding, they'll play today as well. Of course, no Jacob deGrom today because I need another day to rest my arm.
No, it's because as I tweeted out and showed you yesterday, the matchups are better if Jake starts either Saturday or
Does
Sunday.
Does it matter when you only pitch 6 innings? Stop.
7 innings in his last 2 starts.
877-337-6666. We got lots cooking today. Obviously, a lot of baseball. Julius Randle is getting the shaft from USA Basketball, and I'm not quite sure why that is.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Do you want your blankie?
I don't have a blankie.
You don't have one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the why. There's got to be a reason.
I'll give you the reason.
And I'm not all that upset about it.
Sounds like it.
But they're now replacing guys on USA Basketball that are not better than Julius Randle. They're not.
So you're upset about it?
A little bit.
That's okay. As long as you admit it, that's fine.
A little bit.
You want to see a New York Knick at the Olympics?
Yeah, I want
respect
Julius
that.
Randle on USA Basketball. And you can't say he's not good enough to be there now.
I never said that.
I'm saying no one can say that. So there must be an agenda.
Well,
okay. An anti-Nick agenda.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Well, let's get into it in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, because I want to stay on course with commercials today because we have a lot of them. And I want to make sure we maximize the content of this show every single hour, okay?
And apparently we're on until 6:25 because there will be a New York Yankee baseball game tonight against the Red Sox.
Plus, the management said to the Yankees, do us a favor, please play an extra half hour of Big Mac is not good for anybody.
Did you listen to him last night?
No.
Stellar job.
No.
C-Mac, you did a hell of a job. You stepped up. You were
What do you mean
passionate.
he stepped up?
Well, he wasn't on the schedule.
What
So
do you
he
mean you
stepped
weren't
up.
on the schedule? When did they ask you to do it? Yesterday?
Yeah. Like
I didn't know that.
About a half hour before the...
I had no idea that was the
He
case.
was placed on the schedule because the Yankee game got postponed.
Oh, that's why you did it? I didn't even know that.
Well, yes, because if the Yankee game wasn't postponed, the Yankees would have been on the air.
Is that right?
That's usually
I had
how
no
it works.
idea why you did that show.
I did the show.
I really didn't have. I had no idea.
I did the show because the Yankees
You
were
did it
postponed.
because the Yankees got postponed.
Yes, once the Yankees got postponed, I was asked to do the show.
So it was a last minute, hey, would you like to do a show? And you're like, you're damn right I would.
Of course.
Bang, you knock it right out of the
Don't
park.
you remember he was worried, what do I talk about? He ended up doing...
what do you talk about?
He
Well,
ended
I
up
didn't-
singing on the show, did a lot of performances. It was very impressive.
I thought you listen on Saturdays because I usually sing the songs coming back from break.
I understand. I'm explaining to Craig, who's never heard you on the radio.
You guys gave me a chance to spread my wings and expose what a wonderful singer I have, I've really kind of incorporated it into my show.
Yeah. So does Consummate Muculis. But I'm not saying it works.
Well, for him it does. Sure it does.
It does? Oh.
What
Okay.
else would he be doing?
222. It's Carton and Roberts on the fan. We'll get your calls. Now I think I've at least explained why I hate the coddling bit.